I love Almodovar, and I've always loved his films. I think that that Talk to Her was probably my favourite of all of his films. I felt like he really kind of hit his stride with that film. It was beautiful and mature, and I felt like it really came together. And I almost feel like Bad Education was kind of a step backwards for him. It was so dramatic and so serious, and the music, and you kept expecting something to actually be taking place, but there didn't seem to really be very much drama underneath, and I didn't really at any point care very much about the characters enough that when the story started to unravel and the layers started to unfold, I didn't really care what I was finding out.
People see his last two films as distinguished, mature works, and this is almost like Almodovar being naughty again. It's almost like he's not supposed to do this. He's grown up now. And he's gone back to all these sort of hot colours and hot palettes.
So like Law of Desire? Or
exactly like Law of Desire. In fact, it's almost set in the same period he made Law of Desire. And I like the fact that he's sort of being misbehaved again.
I just think it's confused. To me, it just has too much going on, too many things thrown in there, too many references to Hitchcock in particular. And yet, you know, there are moments, there are sequences within it which are fantastic and which are brilliant. But I would agree ultimately with Gillian, by the end you just don't really care, and you're not quite sure whether you're meant to be taking these characters in a kind of ironic way, or whether you're meant to be involved with them. And I think that's what he'd managed to achieve in his previous two films, was that for the first time maybe ever you actually really emotionally engaged in those films with the characters, that you got beyond the vulgarities and the irony. And in this one, I think in that respect it's a step back.
Do you think it's clear to work out what he's saying exactly about the subject, what he feels about it as a filmmaker, and do you think that subject benefits from being treated in what we've discussed as being the kind of trademark Almodovar style?
Yeah, no, I think that is very interesting, 'cause, you know, it's a very controversial subject, and his treatment of it is extremely controversial. I'm surprised that the film didn't cause more furore than...
What do you think?
Because he seems to be saying that all instances of paedophilia actually, you know, maybe it's sometimes the kid who's at fault. And
well, not at fault. Maybe sometimes it's not necessarily an act of abuse.
It's not an act of abuse, it's an act of mutual desire.
Or a rite of passage, really.
Exactly. And that seems to fit very clearly with you know, his other films.
And his life, as much as we know about it.
And his life, what we know about it, yeah, absolutely. So, no, I mean, I think it's, you know, he's a genuine auteur, you know, to use that terrible word, and everything sort of his whole oeuvre feels of a piece, in a way. And so, you know, and I think there's great sequences in it where you just feel, God, there's a great distinctive filmmaker working in just the way he does those things. I love those bits, because those are the bits that make you really feel, you know, this guy's got a genuine way of genuinely different way of looking at the world.
For me, the Moon River sequence, I mean, my jaw dropped. I mean,
which sequence?
When the kid is singing Moon River to the priest.
It is so bizarre.